coming out tonight. We had CSM here last week to talk about their enrollment program. Did any of you get to come to that? Okay, so you guys kind of heard, well, if you do a little bit south of here, but each school has their own unique concurrent enrollment program. So we asked Florentino to come and share about the concurrent enrollment program at Skyline. So, but before we do that, that looks a little better, huh? I wanted to let you know, so one of the steps that you'll see, like if you turn open on your little yellow handout there, let me grab one for myself. You'll see there's these nice 5 steps to enrolling in the College Connection program. And the second step says see your high school counselor. And it looks really, really easy, but DTEC doesn't have the standard, one counselor to 250 students. So what we have done is we met as a staff last week and said, okay, what do our students need to do to get us to sign off on concurrently enrolling in college while they're still taking high school? So this is what the staff came up with. So students must be on pace and have a 2.0, which they should have since we're a mastery-based program. It's very difficult to get a grade that's not 2.0 or higher. But in order to take a math class, they should have at least that 2.0 in their math classes. Okay, for instance. They're going to sign up, and I'm sure Florentino will talk about what this G number is, this magic G number that follows you everywhere in your community college system here in San Mateo County. And you'll want to check what's called the restricted classes. And again, Florentino will touch on that. The restricted classes do differ by college. And then, before the students bring this lovely form to us, we want to have your approval on it, okay? Because I've already gotten a few that they're going to take chemistry, didn't sign up for the lab, they're going to take ceramics, and they're going to take a PE class. And I said, do your parents know you're doing this? Are they going to get you there? Oh, yeah, you should talk to them about that, and then bring the form to us. Okay, so students, you hear that? Chit-chat with your parents about what you want to do, your guardian, before you bring your form to have us sign it. And then the last step, okay, that we want you to do is to go see your core teacher in the discipline of the class you want to take. So if you want to take a science class, you should go see Mr. Clark, okay? There's a couple tricky ones on here though. If you want to take a language class, oh my word, who do you go see? Your @DTEC teacher. Okay, so since we don't have like a core teacher in language arts, you'll check in with your @DTEC teacher. If you want to take a visual and performing arts, you can come and see me, and we'll talk about the class and whether in your schedule and when you're going to take it and all that good stuff. Okay. How many of you are thinking of taking classes this coming summer?
If it's online.
It's online. Okay. All right.
Tuesday, Thursday, 6 to 9. I'm not sure if she will do this. She's a counselor at a summer camp.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So she's a counselor full time in the whole summer. So she wants to take class Tuesday to Thursday at night.
Oh, at night. Yeah, so you'll have to just look at the catalog and see what fits with your schedule. Yeah, okay. But really, the reason that we're doing this is because, Dr. Montgomery or Ms. Crummell, who will eventually sign off where it says principal or designee, they can sign off on this before you turn it into Skyline. We just want to make sure that you've touched base with the person who's closest to that discipline and has some interaction with you and can really help recommend to your student whether they think this is a good match right now. One thing I told parents last week is there's no rush. If your students are itching to get on that college campus, then let's support them and go for it. But let's also make sure that they understand what the expectations are. And I'm hoping you'll go over what some of those expectations are as well, okay? Then students, you can bring your signed form to the office, okay? And then you'll just follow the remaining steps that the college that you're applying to puts forth so that you can participate in their program, all right? And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me as a first point of contact, and I'll help you figure out where you are in the steps to getting enrolled in the college program.
Just regarding the schedules, since most of the classes I saw are in the morning, how is it going to work next year with the DTEC schedule?
Yeah, so we're gonna have we had discussions about this last Friday, and it's really gonna depend on what the class is. If it's a class that your student is just taking as an elective, and it's really gonna impact their daily high school schedule, we might recommend taking a night class or taking a later afternoon class, or consider taking it during the summer. If say we're not offering pre-calculus and you are ready for pre-calculus, then let's just look for the best fitting time that has the least impact. The other thing that we're doing is the design lab, and I will look up the days, because we had a discussion about changing when we offer design lab. We're still gonna offer it in the afternoons as our students prefer, but I think we're going to have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, so that you can go to Skyline in the afternoons and either take Monday, Wednesday classes or Tuesday, Thursday classes without having to miss design lab. Because right now, design lab's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So it kind of cuts out all afternoon classes. So we have already made that adjustment, because if you look in here on the very back, the enrollment dates for fall are this month. Okay, so I don't know if Dr. Montgomery is going to put that in an update or a newsletter. I will touch base with him, but we will get that information. Maybe we'll just do a little concurrent enrollment update for everybody, put these steps on there, and also put the design lab schedule, so as you're scheduling for next fall, you kind of know where to best place your student. Some of the language classes run from 9 to 10, Monday through Friday, and so if that is if you are looking at taking your language through Skyline, I know Dr. Montgomery's already had some discussions with families about how we can best accommodate those schedules. Anything else?
Do they need to take the assessment test of the college?
Yeah, so
Someone write English
Florentino's
and
going to
math?
talk about that. That's one of the steps. So maybe since we're getting into
yes,
those
sure.
questions, if you want to come on up. And can you help me pronounce your last name?
You bug me.
I know, I try to listen on your voice now.
It's okay,
Say
it's
it again.
okay.
Say it again.
So, hello, I'm going to set something up really quick, just because,
Oh, yeah, and we have these links.
oh yeah, for sure. We can't be going to the,
Oh, CSM, wrong.
It's okay.
Oh, no,
We
you
get
are.
it all the time.
There you go.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to pop this back in. Hello, folks. How you guys doing this evening? Is everyone good? Okay, so I'm going to set something up really quick, just because I think it'd be fun and it'd be a nice icebreaker before we dive into all of your questions. I can see that you have a lot of questions, that you'd like to answer about concurrent enrollment, about Skyline College, and it kind of dawned on me that, you know what, why not set up our typical outreach presentation? Usually it's for seniors, but you can definitely tailor it to you and your students, and definitely try to answer as many questions as possible. So we can clear up what concurrent enrollment is, the benefits of concurrent enrollment for you and your student, and some breakdowns of how community college can effectively help you and your student on their pathway wherever they need to go. So let's see. Let's set you up first, shall we? Hello, Bruce. So my flash drive is Bruce Lee, so
Kicks back.
he does. If it wasn't for this flash drive, I have no idea where I would be right now. Let's see. Oh, wait. Whoa,
That's mine.
that's yours. I don't think that's mine.
There you go.
Is that yours as well?
Yeah.
All right, so, oh, there you are. Hello. Okay. Whoa. There we go. Oh, technology. So let's do this. So this is our again, I'm going to peruse through this, because again, this is tailored specifically for seniors, okay? So it's been a long day, and I like to play a game with you guys. What do you think? Yes? Is that okay? Students, parents? Yes? Just, it's an icebreaker. I'm sure my counterpart, Alex, is way different than I am. As you can tell, all of our colleges are a little bit different. So just, some backstory. My name is Florentino Ubug. I'm the outreach coordinator at Skyline College. My counterpart is Alex Gariba, and my counterpart at Kenyatta is Noel Chavez. So we are all part of the San Mateo Community College School District. So we had mentioned a G number, and Wendy had mentioned a G number. And what your G number is, it's your student ID. So anytime your student takes a class with us, whether it's Kenyatta, CSM, Skyline, you get a G number. And that G number is your ID. It's like your social security number, but for the San Mateo Community College School District. And it follows you wherever you go, okay? So in the meantime, again, it's my game. It's a long day. I'm sure everyone's had a long day. The game is called Around the World, okay? Students, are you ready for this? Like maybe, I don't know. You ready? Okay, maybe not. We'll find out. So your goal is to guess where I am next, okay? Yeah? So I'm in Arizona, I go to Rhode Island, I go to Ontario, end up in Utah. Where am I? No.
Can you say it again?
Arizona, Rhode Island, Ontario, Utah. Where am I next?
Nevada.
Correct. What's your name?
Amit.
Amit. Oh, Amit. And you just became friends. So from Nevada, I go to Denver, I end up in Tallahassee. Where am I? Amit, hit me.
Oh, but I can't think of the name of the state.
Just throw something out there, my man. Throw something out there. Be creative. I got you. I'm in Half Moon Bay.
Okay, cool.
From Half Moon Bay, I'm in England, and I end up in Wyoming. Where am I? Parents, your thoughts? Amit, where am I?
Oregon.
Correct, I'm in Oregon.
Don't you know?
From Oregon's, I'm in Reading, and I end up in London. Where am I? Yes, sir.
Democratic Republic of Congo.
Correct. Does anyone want to know how to play? Oh, you want to do another one just before we get into what concurrent enrollment is? Okay, sure, why not? Why not? I'm in Atlanta, I go to Richmond, and then I end up in, I don't know, Ontario. Where am I? Sorry.
United States.
Correct.
Now can you explain? Can't you explain?
Does anyone want to know how to play?
I want to have.
Okay, that's not enough hands. We'll
Wait,
get
I wanna know how to play.
it's too late.
No, it's not. I need to know.
We'll continue playing. My man, me and you will play. And, So, okay, so what I'm here for, I'm here representing Skyline Community College. Okay? So, the basis of today, right, is to talk about concurrent enrollment. Now, like Wendy said, concurrent enrollment is different at all three schools. We're all different. We're all a little bit the same. But for the most part, we are different. So at my college, we offer open enrollment to all of our concurrent enrollment students. What that means is that Amit said you can take any class you would like, as long as the teacher or principal and you, the parents, sign off on his concurrent enrollment form, which a lot of you are looking at, the yellow form. Okay? Yes, there are some restrictions here and there based on his schedule that he is taking here at his high school. But he can take online classes, he can take night classes. We also offer weekend classes. And he can take any of those classes as long as you, the parent, feels that, yes, I feel like he's ready, and my principal and counselor feel that he's ready, okay? In terms, someone had said something about a placement test, right? Yes, the student will have to take the placement test if they're taking math or English, or anything related to those fields. For example, say that you want to take an engineering class, and there's a prerequisite, which is math. You need to take a math test to meet the prerequisite for that engineering class, okay? Let's see, what else? The benefit of concurrent enrollment, right, is your first 11 units are free, which means for the school or just
For the school year or for the 4 years?
forever.
Forever.
No, I'm just kidding. So you get your first 11 units for free. So what that means that from now until your last semester of your senior year, you get a cumulative 11 units for free. The fees, though, are, for example, a material fee, or say you have to pay for the books for the class. Those are the things that you, the student, and the families have to pay for. Like, for example, if you take an art class, and you need to buy clay for the class, material fee. Yes?
Sorry, you can finish. I was just gonna ask a question after that.
Go ahead, there's no dumb questions.
So you get 11 units throughout all 4 years or per
Correct.
year?
11 units through the whole 4 years.
So CSM did tell us differently.
What did they say?
They said as long as you're in 11 units or fewer each semester,
That's
you
free.
do not have to pay.
That's what I heard.
And they said as soon as, if you even go to 11.5 units, you have to pay for all 11.5 units for that. And we did ask, so.
Haven't heard that.
I honestly have heard both.
Okay, so I know for our
And
college.
it's not explicitly clear
Yeah,
here.
so in our college, it's 11 units.
It's a
I mean,
total.
it's a
And that
total,
may be one of
yeah.
the differences between
Yeah,
the schools.
that could be a differences between the schools.
That's a big difference.
So,
So basically in the other college, you can take 11 every semester and finish your
So I-
associate degree for free.
essentially, I can't answer that for CSM, just that because they're a different college, they're on a different system than we do for a lot of different programs. But I do know that it just depends on maybe the program. For example, it's possible that they're talking about their middle college program, which is different than concurrent enrollment. It is concurrent enrollment essentially, but the middle college is a program where a student is also enrolled in college at the same time, and they're taking courses, and they do get 11 units per every year they're enrolled in the middle college,
And you can do that.
within the middle college program. So that's a different
They're not
program.
enrolled in high school at all, so that's my understanding.
It's a different, yeah, it's a different
So
program.
the difference is,
So yes.
that's the real.
Oh, they can't be
That's
enrolled in high
that is a
school.
different
In middle
program.
college, you
Yes.
are not enrolled in high school anymore.
You are in middle college.
You are in the middle college program. It's kind of like an in-between of high school and college, but you're taking both at the same time. But you're no longer in high school per se, but you are. It's like, so you're a high school student there taking college classes at the same time and fulfilling the requirements, but it's like a transitional college in between. That's why they call it the middle college. But you're no longer in your traditional high school. Does that make sense? Am I making sense there? Yes?
Yeah.
It's a special program for students that are like, that feel, I'm not suited for high school right now, but I want to go, I know I'm going to a community college, hence I'm going to work at the same time fulfilling high school requirements and fulfilling AA requirements at the same time. It's like an in-between program. So
So
that.
in that case, it would make sense if you were taking under 11 credits at community college during the semester system?
Yes, so every semester, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they were speaking about, but for our concurrent enrollment program.
We'll clarify.
So yeah, I mean, that's definitely clarify that with Alex. I mean, I'll call him myself after this presentation, like, hey man.
Well,
you know.
yeah, because you heard what they heard.
So I heard that, so, you know, we want to make sure you guys have the right information about your schools and concurrent enrollment. But for our school, it's just 11 units, cumulatively over the 4 years.
Everything over the 11 units, how much is per unit?
$46. So,
$46 a class?
a
Per
unit.
unit.
Per unit.
Classes usually 3-4 units?
Depending on the classes could be 1, it could be 4, it could be 3, it just depends on the class you decide to pick. So, yeah. Okay, so Arizona, Rhode Island, Ontario, Utah, Nebraska, Dixie, Texas, where am I?
San Francisco.
Poland.
Correct.
You guys have something worked out.
Do you want to adopt him?
I met him today. Have we ever met before? No, we have never met before, ever.
Oh, I know, you can say anything beside Bay Area.
Okay, watch. So from Holland, I'm in East LA, then I'm in Wyoming.
Now you're in Ontario.
Correct, I'm in
I got
Ontario.
I figured it out.
So from Ontario, I'm in Reading, and I end up in London. Where am I?
Detroit.
Correct. Am I in Detroit?
Yeah.
Correct.
That's it, you count.
So from Detroit, I'm in.
I was determined to figure it out.
So from Detroit, I'm in Austin, and from Austin, I'm in Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Where?
What? I was just saying we were on North.
He asked for Rwanda.
Rwanda is in Africa. Where am I next?
No.
Southeast Asia.
Zoom in on the map.
Seattle.
Oh, should I zoom in on the map?
Should be Ontario.
Ah, yes, correct. I'm
I
in
know
We've been
Ontario.
there like 5 times.
Yes, we did go to Ontario 5 times. Okay,
You
so
like Ontario.
does anyone want to? No? Okay, well. Maybe later the game will entice you some
Figure it
more.
out, Josh. I'm not
So
gonna tell
yes.
you, it's easy.
Ma'am, what's your name?
My own little thing.
No.
Allison.
So we have Allison and Amit, right? We figured it out. Or they figured it out. I didn't know how to play in the beginning. So, so some things about a community college, right? Would you like to break down? Any questions more about concurrent enrollment about my college? Anything specific that we want to dive into? Because that's what I'm here for. I mean, about specifically Scholar.
Is there a limit of points you need to have from high school in order to be eligible to start concurrent enrollment? I read it somewhere and I wasn't sure.
So there's In terms of, I mean, credits, right?
Credits.
So as long as the student is enrolled into high school, and again, every community college is different. City College will do it different than CSM, and we do it different than the other two colleges. We have some similarities within our district, but we are different. Some high school districts are different as well. For example, I believe South San Francisco Unified School District does not allow freshmen to take concurrent enrollment. I believe.
But you allow it.
But as long as you're in high school, like that, which means you're a first semester freshman year, that's considered a high school student, you're allowed to take concurrent enrollment, as long as all the paperwork is filled out. And the paperwork is not just this form here, but you also need to apply to the college as well. So by applying to the college online, you become a student, and in the application process, you get to say, okay, I'm a high school student taking college courses. After you get your G number, which takes about 2 days, roughly, then you fill out the college connection form, and you list down the classes that your student wants to take. Then you sign off on this, like the signatures from the educator, the teacher, whatever. Yes?
Since each college is different, but you get the G number, you can get a G number through any college website, right? Through through the CSM,
So for
Skyline,
us, yes.
Kenyatta College.
Correct.
So then, if I apply and get a G number through Skyline College, but then I live close to CSM,
Mhm.
then I want my child to go to CSM, take classes.
You can.
But then the rules apply to
If you.
CSM's, is
So,
CSM's rules or
If-
Skyline's
If you
rules?
choose to take classes at the colleges, then those rules apply to you.
Okay, so whichever college I
Yes, so but
apply,
your
I
G
go
number,
to.
your G number is just like your universal passport kind of a thing at all 3 schools. So you can take a class at, one class at Skyline, apply for Skyline, but your G number works in CSM and Kenyatta. So it works at all 3
And it
schools.
doesn't matter, right? There's no priority or anything, right?
No.
Whichever school you got it.
Is there a fee for the online enrollment,
No, it's free.
for the registration?
Yes.
Do you count the 11 points from all 3 colleges, or each one counts for itself?
It counts at all schools, that's according to my knowledge. So we have to check, we have to check them all, like,
Right,
CSM
but
Center,
then it depends
we have to
on-
check
You're gonna
that.
email us, huh?
Well, who else was here? Was I the only one that heard that?
We have
No,
to-
I heard the
I
same thing.
thought it was
Actually, as a matter of fact, I heard
also
11.5.
per semester.
As soon as you go over to
Check that
12,
too.
you pay for the whole 12.
No, I think he's very good. So yeah, we'll double check, because I think it
Yeah.
was as soon as you go over 11, even by 0.5.
Yeah, so if you do go over 11 at our college, you have to pay for that.
And
For
over there,
all
you can be the.
No, just for
school,
everything
take
after
high
the
school
11.
College classes.
For us.
First 11 is free.
Yes, the first 11 are free.
How many classes do high school students, I mean, it's probably a bad question, but
Oh, there's no bad
how many do they normally take?
So
I mean, how
like-
much is too much?
So there's not necessarily too much. It all depends on the student. Some students, they knock out the 11 and they keep taking classes. Some students only take those classes to make up credit. Or so there's those students that I want to take it to get ahead, to fulfill requirements. So the benefit of concurrent enrollment is they double count. So they count here at your high school and they're waiting for you when you graduate. Also the benefit, right, is it's like universal money. The reason why I call it universal money is because these credits, or we call them units, they will transfer to anywhere in the United States. The benefit of it is, for example, say Amit, is that right? Amit, sorry, I just, the same thing happens to my name all the time, so I have to. Say Amit wants to go to Stanford. Let's go to Stanford. And he's a concurrent enrollment student. Those 11 units he accumulates, say he goes to Skyline, so we're going to say we're to Skyline because, you know, what's going on with CSM. So
There's
say,
one less
yeah.
year at the
So he can knock out his first semester of college at Skyline while he's still in high school, and all those units will transfer to Stanford, and he never has to go to Skyline ever again after he graduates from here. And all those units will go straight to Stanford.
Are you 100% sure for that? Because we have a college student and UC takes some, but don't take all.
What school?
UC Irvine, but
Yes.
it's all the UC system.
Okay,
It's
so,
not,
okay.
they're saying we're taking, but physics doesn't count, or suddenly, I mean, there's all these rules of what we took that now doesn't qualify for credit waiver.
So the difference in the systems, right? The difference in the systems is UC schools. So there's, okay, so let's backtrack even more. There's community college, CSUs, California State Universities, UCs, like the UC Irvine, UC Berkeley, and the private institutions, okay? Think about UCs, like you just said, UC Irvine.
Yeah.
Those classes from UC Irvine don't all transfer to other institutions that are not UCs.
No, I'm asking your classes, you
So,
say transfer to
but
UC.
community college though, community college, and if you look inside the schedules that are inside of your folders, will show you what classes are transferable to UC schools. As long as they're not prerequisites, which are like the remedial courses, all the other classes will transfer to any UC, any CSU, and any private institution. And it'll say it in the schedule.
So can I make one clarification coming from a private college
Sure.
background? So the clarification I'll make is that, yes, they will transfer. Sometimes they transfer as elective credit. Because if that is your major and that college, it's like, you know, you're gonna take our child development class, you're gonna take our physics class. They may transfer it as an elective credit, so it does transfer, but they still may require you to take World Civilization 2.
So going with that,
You're saying you have to take all, and for him, they said
No,
just because
you
you
know
need
what,
160
it's
units,
usually-
you qualify for the
it's-
difference for the unit.
It typically doesn't happen.
No.
But it can happen if it is a course that is like a building block for that whole major.
Mhm.
So for example, at Westmont College, where I taught in Santa Barbara, we had one child development class that our education majors took. So we did not take infancy and early childhood from a community college as replacing the class that we taught because we went all the way through the lifespan.
correct.
Okay, so they would have had to take 3 classes at Skyline, infancy, early childhood, middle childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and aging, in order to satisfy our 1 4-unit class at the university. So we gave them all elective credit, but they still had to take our class for education majors.
And where you can go if you really want to take a look, and it's all listed, is on a website called assist.org. What you can do is put Skyline College, say UC Irvine, put in the major, hit like the Go bar or the Go tab. And it'll show all the units that will transfer from a community college to UC or CSU. And it goes
Assist.com?
assist.org.
Huh, They didn't have that when I was in school.
That would have been lovely.
It'll show you everything. Because the reason why I can tell you this is in a former life, before I got to Skyline College, I used to counsel and teach at City College of San Francisco. And in terms of me, in institutions, I went to a community college first, got my BA at SF State. After that, I went to graduate school at the Academy of Art University and worked on a master's in multimedia and broadcasting. And after that, I got my master's in educational counseling and psychology. So I kind of touched different systems. And was able to work with a few different systems. So, yeah. So for example, some of the upper GEs, going off of what you said, it might not count from the CSU because it might only count for maybe a lower GE. But certain schools have certain classes that are specific to that particular major that you can only take at that particular institution. So, yeah. Yes?
How is the capacity of your college right now? You know, do we have to hurry up and submit, and otherwise we might not get it, or?
So for the summer classes have already, like students have already started to register for summer classes. So registration has started. There are still classes available and open to the students. And I can pull up the website in a little bit, show you guys where to look or where classes are open. Now, for the fall semester, enrollment has not started yet. Okay, so enrollment, it's still like, the chances of you and your students getting classes for the fall are fairly high, depending on the particular classes that you're enrolling in. Math and English are usually classes that go really fast because those are requirements that our students need to transfer to 4-year schools. Elective classes, on the other hand, they're usually easier to get, but it all depends on how fast you identify what your student wants to take and when you apply for our college.
It just opened on May 1st, right, isn't it?
For
The summer, because
May 8th.
May-
May 8th or something, so.
No, actually, they said that for Concur, new high school student registration begin on May 14. So our kids can register until May 14 anyways, correct?
Yes, on the,
Yes.
for our students, I mean, our students
Continuing
students have already
traditional
started to
colleges.
enroll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so they have a priority,
Yes.
and then maybe by then, you might not get the one you want. For example, for the summer or
It's possible, it just depends on what we're offering, and it's usually on their schedule and going on.
If a student doesn't get the class they want, is there a way to add? I mean, when I was in college, we can walk up into the class and add if somebody.
So for the high school students, I recommend, if you look into the concurrent enrollment form, you can list multiple classes down. So it's always good to put your priority, your number one choice as the top, and you can list other classes to supplement just in case. If you don't get that first class, then you can go out and try to add that other class. But yes, for our college students, they can walk in, like, crash a class and go add it. But for concurrent enrollment students, as long as it's on that form, those are classes that you can add. So always put down your first option, second option, and essentially your third option.
Because if they don't get in that class that you put, if you only put one,
That's
you're done.
Yeah.
But unless you fill out a whole nother form.
Okay.
Right, if you need the school to sign off as well,
Yeah.
so it benefits you to put more on there. You
Because
just
otherwise-
need to communicate to us,
Five
like, you're really not
classes.
gonna take 4 classes, you're gonna take 1, and you're hoping you get this one, and these are your backups.
And it's always good to have options, and I think, yeah, you can at least list 5 classes on there,
Yeah, that's
per
right.
sheet.
And then the website shows open spots, right? So it says the number of seats open in the class.
So-
You don't have to
yeah.
necessarily you're not doing this blindly.
Yes.
You will know exactly how much space is left in that class, so you can choose more appropriately strategically when you're signing up.
Can we see that?
Yes, you can.
And then the other thing that I would remind you guys as well is to graduate from high school, the students do need the equivalent of 1 year of visual performing arts. So if they didn't satisfy that during the intercession program, so they could take 4 sections, basically all, half day, all 4 intercessions would be 1 year of visual performing arts. Do they need to take a year or a semester at college, Sarah? I'm not sure we clarified that on Friday.
At college?
Yeah,
Out of college?
isn't 1 semester in college, 1 year in high school?
I don't think so. I think it's a direct transfer.
Okay, so they still need to do 2 semesters in college for 1 year in high school.
And it
So
needs to be
that
the
would be the
same?
other thing to consider this summer is look at the visual performing arts classes. They're electives, they're gonna fill up less quickly, and your students need it to graduate from high school.
Is it the same, has to be within the same field, or you can take one drawing class, one
Oh,
photography
good
class?
question. So it has to be within the same family. Okay, so it's visual and performing arts. So you could take introduction to drama and you could take an improv class, because those are performing. Or you could take musical theater and drama, okay? You could also take painting and drawing. Or you could take, painting 1, painting 2, or something like that. But they need to be in the same family. So you can't do musical theater and ceramics.
But you can do like ceramic 1, 2,
You
or,
could do ceramic 1, 2.
or photography 1, 2.
Yeah, yeah.
But you need 4 of those classes.
You would need 4 intercession classes, because remember, intercession's only 2 weeks at a time.
Right.
So you would need 4, so for example, our students that took photography this year took photography in October, December, January, and March, and they've all satisfied their 1 year visual performing arts. Some of our students took printmaking for December and January, and then they also took illustration and drawing in January and March, and they now have 1 year of visual performing arts.
Will you have photography again next year?
In fact, we're trying to hire at least 2, if not 3, photography teachers, because it's our. Yeah.
What about design for good? Does that count at all?
Design for good, it was more like a product development, so it wouldn't be visual
Okay.
performing arts.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you for that.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
you know what?
Thank you.
Yeah, you got
I'm
it.
not giving it away.
I mean, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah. Does that help? Okay, and then some of your students may need to make up, anyone need to make up PE minutes? So you can use summer physical education classes to help make up for maybe your lack of PE minutes. You can't bank it forward, but you can make it up.
What do you mean you can done before?
Well,
So
some
also
people
you
were
can do
asking,
summer
can I
for
take
next
it this
year?
summer and give myself credit for the fall, and Christy not already mixed that, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just want to see the whole process of what the student would see from, so she
Yeah.
already got the G number,
Mhm.
and now, like, we were looking at the San Mateo classes, and it was, I would like to see the
Yeah,
skyline.
I think Florentine's gonna show you, that's where you're gonna start, right there.
So, here's a question. How many of the folks here have enrolled their students already in our district, San Mateo Community College School District? Which
G
means-
number?
And you have your G number, You have it all already, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, G number.
No, have not
Only
picked
G
the class
number.
yet though.
Have not,
Pick the class, got the G number, but not have, do not.
okay.
No,
So,
but then we have
So we
to
can
enroll.
just go tonight and
so
Get
what
the
you would
number
do,
online?
you would go here, to enroll for concurrent enrollment. From there, you would enroll into the college.
Counts back in an hour. It's very
And you would have to
fast.
create,
G number.
for you, ma'am, you'd have to create a CC apply, CCC apply account. So apply to Skyline College to receive your G number, okay? So that's what you would essentially do.
one
But-
small question.
Sure.
Do you have to be a student in San Mateo or do you have to also live in San Mateo
No,
County?
it doesn't matter where you live.
Okay.
You live. Essentially, hopefully you live in the Bay Area.
San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
We consider that the Bay Area.
That's totally fine. I mean, yeah.
No, I was just wondering if you, like,
Yes,
we
I'm
have to
native, so
apply
yeah,
to
you'll
City
do that
College
for
of
sure.
San Francisco instead or something.
No, you can, I mean, yeah, you can. So from there, there's a couple of places where you can look for open classes. So let's go home. Let's go. Let's see, we're gonna look at, I guess, summer. So this is our summer schedule, okay? To see open classes, you would essentially have to log into your WebSmart here. So you would log into your WebSmart, and it would show you how many classes and how many seats are still available. Prior to that, you can take a look at the classes by clicking on the class schedule, and then you can read our class schedule, or our summer schedule. This is just an overview of what our summer schedule looks like online.
If you get your G number tonight, how quickly can you do the placement tests in order, because you can't enroll without the placement test if you want to take math.
Here, hit the little green dot and it might resize it for you.
This one?
The green upper left.
This one? This one, okay. Oh, nice. It takes about a couple days to get your G number. Sometimes it takes overnight, depending on how many students are applying at a time. In terms of taking the placement test, you would definitely have to go to admissions, go to the testing/assessment link, and then schedule an appointment for a placement test. And if they have an opening, all you need is your G number and your photo ID. You can go down and take the placement test.
But do not schedule that before you have your G number, because if you show up without your G number, they will not let you take the test.
Yes.
Sorry,
Quite a
quick
few.
question.
But then you guys, you can look at the class.
When you apply for that G number, I already got it, but it asks you for you have to declare a major.
So
You just put something random,
can put
right? For a
what
concurrent
you're
enrollment?
interested in. So it doesn't
Right.
necessarily matter what you put. Essentially, it would help for an incoming freshman into the college, but for the most part, you can put down just something you're interested in.
Right,
'Cause
it
after
doesn't
that-
give you any priority
No.
to, some classes, right? Okay, so I just put something random.
So let's see if the open classes for the summer are here.
You take your right, you can't even take the placement test yet unless they sign up. So just-
Oh, you
No,
can't
no,
do the
no.
placement test without the yellow.
So just to backtrack, okay, before you got, as long as you have a G number, you can take a placement
Okay.
test. You do not need consent from the high schools,
Okay.
just because you
And it-
need the signatures, but you need signatures for the classes.
And it might help you, know, okay, this is where we place in college math. Like, I've done this well in high school, I think I'm ready for the next level. And
But then if you want English, then you take an
then
English
you take the
placement.
English one as well.
But then there is a chance that, oh, sorry, class is full, you have to take math instead, right?
So, yes, yes, your statement is correct, ma'am. But essentially, if you ever choose to take an English class or anything with the prerequisite for English, your placement test will stick throughout your time at the community college.
I see, so placement test is not only by major or subject, it's general.
Overall. So
Oh,
every
it's general.
every institution, when you're going in your freshman year, you have to take a placement test. whether it's at San Francisco State, whether it's at USF. There's a math and English placement test. For us, we have a placement test as well, and that will stick in the San Mateo Community College School District. So it will stay with you as long as you're taking classes with us.
And you can
Can you
retake
retake?
it.
And you can retake it, yes.
And then,
Why
do you
you-
also have a physics or biology placement class?
No, so the prerequisite for those classes are usually your math.
Oh,
Your math classes.
so either math or English, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are always the prerequisites for, usually the sciences.
Then maybe you schedule both then, so you're
So
good for
essentially,
that.
essentially they'll ask you to take both. It takes about two hours for you to
Okay.
take both tests.
Okay,
And essentially, you can opt to take one, but we encourage you to take both while you're there.
okay.
How do you know when you need to retake the test again? Like,
It all depends on you and the student. So for essentially, you would take the placement test. Right after the placement test, your scores will print up. And then usually we recommend students to go see a counselor, because the counselor can tell you, okay, you tested into this class, you tested into this class. This is what you're eligible for, and this is where you can start taking classes. If you feel that maybe, okay, I can do better than this, or my student can do better than this, they can come back and retake the placement test.
I would take the English one as a 17-year-old. My English teacher said, you go take that again. I don't know what happened, you go take that again. And I said, oh, okay. And I took it again, and then I went in right where I was supposed to go in. But I probably would have sat in the remedial class had my English teacher not sent me back. I was 17.
So is that an online test, or you just kind of go there and sit there kind of?
So you would have to, for us, you would have to go to our campus and take the math and English test at our testing center.
Okay, and no weekend hours, I suppose?
Yes and no. We have special programs for incoming freshmen to take the placement test, but usually for concurrent enrollment students, it essentially would depend on what you're going to take, and usually it's during the week. So for example, you can actually look up. So if you go here, admissions. So this would be the testing schedule.
Okay.
So these are the times we offer tests.
Oh. So that's all school time?
So we're closed on Fridays, and then selected Fridays we have by appointment.
4 p.m.
But those are all the
Oh,
tests.
right.
What you would do is contact them and create your appointment to take a placement test.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
It's Tuesday, 4 p.m. Looks like we're all gonna go there Tuesday. 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Again, you of course contact them. So that's the schedule. This is the contact information for testing. And so I recommend here, this is where it is, or right here. Contact them and schedule an appointment for the placement test.
After you get your G number.
Yes, after you get your G number. You have to have your G number, they will not let you take the placement test.
And your photo ID.
And you need a photo ID.
Can you show the schedule first?
How long did it take me to get the G number?
Yeah, I mean, some people have
Some-
gotten it within like an hour and then,
Immediately.
Some people get it, it all depends on when you apply and how the bulk of people
right,
apply.
and if you're a citizen or not.
Yes, and if you answer
yeah.
all the questions correctly right
Yeah.
away, usually.
It does-
Not a citizen. Oh, no,
You could
are a
still,
citizen.
yeah, you
are-
could,
Never mind.
but
He's
you
a
could
citizen.
still
I'm
take
not a
classes
citizen.
because he's enrolled in high school. But yeah, some of our students, and then, yeah.
Never mind, he doesn't.
Okay.
He was born.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
You could
that's
just-
pretty much
just
it, right?
For the most part, any questions? Does anyone want to know how to play the game before you guys leave?
Yeah.
You want to know how to play?
Killing me.
I mean,
No, we wanna know how the answer was.
you all can figure it out if you like.
It's right next to the W.
W, wait.
The PowerPoint? Yeah.
So why did you say?
All right, so here we go. The game is called Around the World. Your goal is to guess where I am next. When I was I'll give you a hint. Because I like you guys. And it's late, it's been a long day. I know, so. When I was a teacher at City College of San Francisco, I taught literature, writing, and composition. and a little bit of history as well. I used to tell my students that every day I'll give you a $50 tip. What a $50 tip is every time you use a tip, if I got $50, I'd be a millionaire. Obviously, I'm not a millionaire, but it's a good concept, right? Your $50 tip today, parents and students, is sometimes the answer is right in front of your face. Like that. Yeah, like that one, right? So, I'm in Arizona, Rhode Island, Ontario, Utah, Nebraska. Where am I? Don't tell me.
Rhode Island, you're doing it too quick for me.
Okay, sorry. I'm in Alaska, Richmond, Oregon, United Kingdom. Where am I? Correct, I'm in Nigeria.
Get it out, get it. Yes.
From Nigeria, I'm in Denver, and from Denver, I'm in Tallahassee. Where am I?
Where's Tallahassee?
Yeah, I don't know where
It's somewhere in the Midwest, I'm guessing.
Tallahassee.
Is it?
Isn't it?
No, it's in Florida.
Get it.
Correct.
Florida.
Answer.
That's in Florida.
Florida.
No,
Okay.
You're in Montreal?
no,
Ontario.
Washington? Me?
yes.
Ashley?
Every time.
Every time, okay, I'm in Honduras.
Honduras
Honduras.
is a really good place. It shouldn't be.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm in Honduras, I go to Ecuador, and I end up in Wyoming. Correct, I went back to Ontario.
I don't know. It's going to be okay.
Okay, so who wants to know how to play? All right, here we go. So, only because, you know, only because. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna point some things out. Then if you still don't get it, I'm gonna explain. Then I'm gonna tell you the relevance of the game. Because there's a relevance to everything. There's a method to this madness. I'm not just doing this to mess with your heads, and it's like, oh my God, the agony.
I don't get it.
It's okay. How old are you, dear?
9,
What grade are you in?
3rd.
Want to know something ironic? You know, a second grader taught me this game. I used to work at an after-school program in Daly City. The after-school program was called ACES. I used to do yard duty with a bunch of elementary school students. I had this one elementary school student, I remember him like it was yesterday, thinking about education. You remember your students, for better or for worse. You remember those students that are just terrible, you remember the students that are awesome, and you remember the students that are kind of quirky. This student was kind of quirky. And he would come up to me and say, hey, Mr. Bunkin, and I'm like, what do you want? He goes, want to play that game? And I would say, no. And then he would play with me anyway. This was the game. And he was in 2nd grade. 2nd grade. Taught me how to play this game. So again, I'll point it out first. By the way, it took me 2 weeks to get it. So, all right, ready? Arizona, Rhode Island, Ontario, United Kingdom, Nevada, Denver. Where am I?
Tallahassee.
Correct, I'm in Tallahassee. In Tallahassee, I'm in Half Moon Bay, and I end up in East LA. Where am I?
Wyoming.
Correct. Does anyone not know how to play? Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'll explain now. I will explain. It's okay. I'll explain. I'll explain. So, okay, what I'm doing, I will explain. I'll explain. It's okay. I'll explain now, because it's okay. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Mind you, it took me 2 weeks. And you know
You're
what?
taking away his degree because I think he lost it, right?
It's okay. You know what? Don't feel bad. Because, you know, I play this game with administrators, I play this game with faculty and staff, I played this game with all the pro schools from St. Ignatius High School to Lowell High School, and none of them get it. But some do. I played this game with deans, I played this game, yes, sir.
Wait, you did this game at Lowell High School?
Of yes.
Wait, what year?
Now it's gonna be on
His brother was there.
case.
I did this at Lowell High School 2 times, last year and the year before that.
For seniors?
Oh, for a bunch of people. I don't know. There were.
Oh, he not necessarily
It was the
there.
whole. It was the
he
whole.
can't go home and write in
Oh.
Facebook that he didn't get it because he wasn't there. Oh, okay.
My friend was
So
telling me.
maybe that could be it. Okay, so here we go. So what I'm doing is I did it for a whole auditorium full of people. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm spelling out around the world with the first letter of every place I go. Arizona, Richmond, Orlando, Utah, Nevada. Where am I? I'm in.
Denver.
From Denver, I go to Texas and I end up in
Hong Kong.
Honduras.
Honduras. From Honduras or Hong Kong. From Honduras, I go to Ecuador, I end up in
Wyoming.
Wyoming. Does anyone know how to play?
So it can be anywhere, it doesn't have to be a state, it can be T, it can be Thailand.
Yeah, correct.
starts with.
You can say one too many times.
I try to make it obvious. So do you want to know the method? You want to know why I play the game? You want to know why? So you'll like this one, Wendy. You'll like this one.
Okay.
You want to know why I play? I'll explain to you why right now. The reason why I play this game is because, and you guys get the explanation. Everyone left didn't go. Don't get the explanation. The reason why I play this game is because this game shows that everyone in this room is different. Parents are different than the other parent. Moms are different than dads. Parents are different than their son or daughter. Their students are different than those students back there. The reason why it shows that is because, one, some people get it right away. Some people you have to explain. Some people you have to actually sit down and point out what I'm doing. It shows that there's audio learners, visual learners, and there's learners that I just don't get it. It also shows, this game shows that you are all different. Parents are different than their kids. Kids are different than other students. Students are different than their peers. And this game just proved to you that that is real. So everyone learns at their own pace and everyone is on their different pathway. Your pathway will not be the same as your student, and your student will not be the same pathway as their siblings or peers. And this game teaches you that. And that's why I play this game. And
Of course you're gonna learn how to spell rabbit.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's about it. I mean, you guys, if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask.
Is there a shuttle from Skyline to anywhere?
There is not. We do not have a shuttle system.
You do
Yes.
not?
We do not.
Well, there's buses.
There are buses though.
There are
I mean,
buses.
we do not have our own shuttle, but Samtran does run from the different BART stations straight to our college. We have a Samtran stop at our college.
Do you know how often?
You can look it up. but
You can look at
like
that. It's all
every-
listed. It's all listed
Yeah.
on.
Okay,
Yeah.
next question. How safe record of your college?
How safe record?
Like, what kind of safe record? Like, is your college really safe? Is it?
Oh yeah, we're super safe. Yes, we are safe. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of those things too, that like if you're on any campus at night, you should walk to your
I mean,
car
oh,
or wherever you're meeting with your parents with somebody
Somewhat.
with you.
Yes.
You
We
know,
do
you,
have.
like
Any
make a
college.
friend.
Yeah, any college you go to, from the UC schools all the way to the
Yeah.
community colleges or the CSUs. We do have campus security. We have multiple officers on campus.
And
if
do you
that's your
guys
ask.
have a program where like a student can call if they're
Yes.
alone and say, could someone walk me to
You
my
can
car?
always call public safety, and public safety will be more than happy to assist you or to escort you wherever you need to go.
Yeah.
So yes, all colleges in our community, in our district have that. But in terms of safety, ma'am, it all depends on, the situation, and you should always walk somewhere with somebody, no matter what institution you're at. Our college is smaller compared to other colleges. We have about 10,500 students. We're the biggest school in our district compared to CSM and to Kenyatta. But in terms of size, we're all pretty relatively the same. But then if you compare us to, say, UC Berkeley is massive compared to us. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on the student. And in terms of, it depends on who you're with. We always recommend and tell students you should always be with someone, especially at nighttime. During the day, of course, it's a little different, just because, again, we're not a big campus. 10,000 students that aren't always there.
And you're gonna keep your stuff with you. You're not gonna
Yes.
like, leave your backpack and then,
Yeah.
You mean like here?
Like here, but see, like someone's in the hallway, even though all their backpacks are there, there's usually someone during physical activity break clearing the hallway and in there. But you're right, like we're small, 140 students, like you would totally see it.
But also
so.
the benefit of concurrent enrollment, and I like to tell this to parents, specifically parents, is this program allows your student to take a college course while in high school. Not only is it preparing them for what college is, but what the real world is going to be like. No matter how small your school is, no matter if it's a private school, public school, no matter if it's a big institution, small institution, by being a concurrent enrollment student, you get to feel what it feels like to be a college student, which means attendance is on you, your homework is on you, getting your books is on you. All the deadlines are going to be taught to you by a college professor. Your math, English, and sciences, or whatever class you take, the standard is at the college standard.
So this one is still follow the same thing as College of San Mateo, where the grade will stick with you through your college. If you feel that the class is too heavy for you, you withdraw within 30 days?
So with your withdrawal, your drop dates, they will be posted once the semester starts. Also, it will be sent to you on your student email as well. And you can always check the website of when you can drop or withdraw from a class.
Can you
Without
choose not to
having to
transfer the
Yes.
classes?
To your high school, yes. But
Not
if
to
you
your
can-
high school,
but-
to later on to college, like.
but you can
So
always,
if you
but
did it and you didn't do well.
you can
it
always,
goes with
but you can always make up that class. So for example, you score a C, I don't know, in a PE class, you can retake that PE class and that grade will stick. Yeah.
So there is a risk also.
Yeah,
With everything.
there is. And we encourage you guys to talk as a family and see if you really, well, figure out what class you really think would be the best entry for you. Like the first class I took as a concurrent enrollment student was it was actually, you guys have it in your counseling. It was like kind of a understanding.
Counseling kind of like a counseling 100
Yes.
class, was a success
Yeah.
to college kind of a class.
Yeah.
And what that is it teaches you how to be a college student. I took the same class when I was in
And
community
it was a 1-unit class. You really had to, it was the structure of college. You had to show up, you had to be there on time, you had to do the assessments they asked you to do, you had to participate in class, but there wasn't this big, heavy, like solve these, 30 equations and bring them back tomorrow all on your own. So it was a good, and I got to know the college, I got to know the expectations.
And then also, I mean, just because you said Lowell High School, right? Was it your sibling went to Lowell? Okay, so a good example, I work with Lowell High School really well. I know the principal, like me and him are buddies. Mr. Ishibashi, he's my mentor. So I know him. I know all about Lowell High School. I went to George Washington, so I know. The thing about other high schools, they always promote AP classes. You run the kind of the same risk with AP classes that concurrent enrollment has. Except for concurrent enrollment is a better method, or we like to say it is. And same thing, you can ask the CSUs, they'll tell you the same exact thing, and the UCs. A concurrent enrollment class is stronger than an AP class any day. The reason why is because in AP class, you have to take the course and pass the AP test, scoring it to 3 or above.
But you don't have to submit it. That's the difference.
It's true.
You can choose to not give the college your AP grades.
This is true. But then the reason why you're taking that AP class is to get the college credit.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if you're failing.
Oh, yeah.
Here, if you're failing, they're seeing it no matter what.
Yes and no, but then in terms of taking it to transfer, if you're a high school student, I don't believe that it'll weigh as much. And
The class that was the highest offer to your school, is this program considered?
so that's through the A through G requirements, or whatever core requirements your institution.
That would be if we offered IB programs, if we offered AP programs, then and you didn't participate in those, but DTEC offered them, then we would not be able to check that box.
But this is not considered what DTEC offered,
This is supplementary to DTEC.
You went to UC Davis, right?
For my master's and PhD. But I did 2 years at a community college and I transferred to Westmont College in Santa Barbara.
Yes? Oh.
I have a question, it's slightly off topic, but like, for the AP classes, like I know some students are taking AP physics.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, so that's online, so does
Mm-hmm.
that technically count?
I think,
It doesn't.
no, it's not part of our standard offering. I mean, it will count for them and
It doesn't count as AP for them as well.
Not
It's
here on
only-
our transcript, but it will prepare them for the test.
For
And
test, yes.
you can take the test whether you took the class or
Yeah.
not. It's just that.
No, but it wouldn't count as what I was trying to ask, and I did. It doesn't count as a 5 points because when you take AP at Lowell, it counts as 5 points. Here,
That's why
it
concurrent
would
enrollment's a
count-
better deal. 'Cause the-
No, here it would count as 4 points.
Right, well, that's why we're saying you don't have to worry about the 4 points, the 5
Yeah.
points to the GPA. If you've got a college transcript and you show that as a high school student, you
No,
can
just trying to
pull
answer
your
her
weight.
question.
Yeah.
Because he did the AP physics and it counts as regular physics. It just,
So
you can do it faster.
I apologize for coming in late. So how do they do this? It just
I can get you caught up.
okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing.
We won't start
Hi,
over.
it's Ben's mom. I was here late in case anyone's listening.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm saying if you want to tell them.
Yeah.
like physics and
All right, do you guys have any other questions?
Questions, comments,
I
thoughts?
wouldn't like psychology. It
Some
doesn't.
of the electives kind of coincide with the times we get at school. Like if I were to leave here at, let's say, 3:30, and I take the bus up there, would I get there in time for some of the classes?
I mean, it just depends on what class you're deciding to take and the time of the class. We have multiple classes, especially if you're taking the fall semester, there's multiple classes that are offered at the very times throughout the day. It just depends.
So, for example, would like to take a math class this summer,
Mhm.
and it starts at noon, but he needs to do your summer semester. How would it work? I mean, would you work his schedule so he could leave here at 11 to take the noon class?
We will definitely do our best to accommodate the best that we can. So it's just going to depend a little bit on what needs to happen in summer school, and if that means he can get that done by 11:30 to have, or 11 to have time to get up there and eat and do a 12 o'clock class.
So also,
Yeah.
I mean, at the college level where we're at, we also like to tell the parents that take care of your high school requirements
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, definitely.
And
That's
then,
why I'm
of course, like again, supplemental and something to get ahead, or to like put stuff here first, then come to our college and take the classes. As long as it works with the high school and the scheduling of the high school, then we definitely recommend taking them. But we want to make sure you fulfill the requirements from your school first.
Yeah, no, that's obvious. I would just, because he wasn't here first semester, so
Right.
he needs English.
Right.
That's all he
needs to finish because he came in halfway through
Because
the
he came
year.
in
Yeah.
mid-year, so.
So my guess is in a situation like that, we're going to accommodate it as best we can because we're not off pace for
But he
not
only
doing our
missing
work.
one class.
Yeah. So, but again, you want to go and see. I would go see Miss Sarah and say, I'm coming to summer school for English, and I want to know if I can leave early so I can take a math class at community college, and then go check in with Miss Mitchell and take the placement test, and then let's see where we're at. Because you have to place into the class first.
Yes.
So question on the placement test. So let's just say this semester, summer semester, she wants to take psychologist
In the summer?
in the summer.
Okay.
To
Come talk to me.
What? I'm just throwing out.
No way, I didn't hear the question.
You want to take psychology in summer?
Yeah, so, yeah, let's talk about that one, okay? Because,
She really wants to do it.
yeah, if you really want, now, so is summer 6 weeks at Skyline like it is? Is summer session 6 weeks? Or are you guys 8 weeks?
I believe
6?
it's 6.
Okay.
And what is your calendar for the summer?
Well, you'll have to look up, the individual classes
June
run.
to end of July, I think.
Yeah.
That's what we look. So anyway, so she wouldn't, let's just say if you're okay with it, she wouldn't need to take placement tests because she wouldn't need English or math, correct?
You just have to look at the prerequisite,
Yeah.
generally not
So
for
let's just say
intro to
they don't
psych.
need it
Yeah.
for this class.
Okay.
Next semester for fall, she decides to take math.
Needs to placement test.
Would she then take the placement test then? Or
Yes.
should she take
You can
it?
take the placement test anytime you want.
But I
You
would,
want
I
to take
would,
it then because you'll have more math from
Yeah.
this side then.
Like no more?
exactly.
Yeah, you.
She might have to, I mean, if you take it now, but then the class you want to take a year from now is a higher level math than what you would take now. I mean, it kind of makes sense to wait and take it before you actually.
Math is one of those things where if you're fresh in your mind, I'd recommend taking the placement test after you've taken a math class.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes,
Are the placement tests all time or?
Yes.
there is a time on the placement test. You have about 2 hours to take both tests.
Oh, I see. Okay, and you walk in, right? You don't need to schedule it.
No, you
We
do.
recommend to schedule an appointment. We do take walk-ins, but the appointments were priority before any walk-in.
It's like the DMV,
If I
always
take
have an appointment.
one placement test, do I still have the 2 hours to take that one placement test?
I believe so.
No. Well, I took the placement test in San Francisco, in City College of San Francisco. There's like 1 hour for the math, 1 hour for the English. They don't let you take 2 hours of math if you don't take English.
I think it just depends on the appointment you make. It just depends. Yeah, that's something,
I
when
would-
you call the placement, the testing and assessment center, ask them that one, because like, they're a different department than me, but I believe it's maybe an hour and a half. I want to say that. But again, you should give them a call, just to clarify.
It's English.
Okay, quick, ask away, man.
So, do you take a placement test for like everything, or is it like you
So-
take the placement test up to like you say what level you like the
So
max level?
so for example, you would if you take the placement test now, whatever you tested now applies to any classes you take. Only
Okay.
specifically though, math and English, or whatever sticks for the prerequisites for math and English. So prereq is like the level leading up to, I guess that's a good way of saying a prerequisite.
Like my question is like, will it go like will the test go up to algebra 2, or will it go up
Yes.
to calculus and just wherever I land?
It usually goes basic math and then college algebra, usually is it's on the placement test. And that will be able to place you and gauge where your math skills are.
So he was trying to ask if you can waive calculus. You cannot waive
Yeah, that's
calculus.
not
You
what
have
I'm
to take
asking. I was
calculus.
asking like, if I'm only trying to get into trig, is there any chance I'll run into like calculus questions on that test?
it's fine, but then they
I know, I'm just
dump them
wondering,
out.
I know, I'm just wondering.
I'm good now, my brain does not process anymore.
Well, we are here for you.
And it sounds like a lot of the remaining questions are individual.
Yeah.
Okay, now I need to figure out what course I want to take and then ask questions specifically about that
Right.
course.
Mhm.
So as long as you guys are clear on the process,
Right.
then we're probably a good place to just.
So, yeah, if you can find out, is the 11 units, is it per semester, or is it per 4 years?
We will check in with that,
Yeah, we have to check with College of San Mateo with that.
because honestly, when the president of Skyline came, she says 11 units each semester, and then I talked to you a few months back when you came here. You're like, oh no, it's just
Yeah.
it's for their lifetime, and then CSM said something different.
Yeah,
So
because I still remember Ashley said, Mommy's gonna save $16,000. I'm like.
well, no, that's what she said in her
Yeah, so
presentation.
it's 11 units for a whole year, that's not $16,000.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out.
We definitely have to figure that
Let
out.
you guys know.
Yes, so that's me too, so we all need to go back to John board and call.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that one.
And waive the whole year of 4-year college. So you waive $40,000 at UC.
Oh my God, I don't know if you can handle that
And-
much classes.
No, I'm saying in 4 years of high school,
Right.
you take enough classes, you waive the whole year of UC. So you waived $40,000 and you paid 48 per unit? Or
46.
Hmm?
46.
46 per unit? I did the
Yeah.
calculation, it still adds up to a big
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And not including boardings
Mean-
and everything.
Yeah.
So
Well, I-
the 40,000 is
Oh yeah, I
before
mean,
minimums.
I can tell you how much it costs to all those institutions if you want. I mean, I know all that stuff too, if you want to know it, like per year.
Unfortunately, we researched that, that's very painful.
It's like about 42,000, right?
For what school?
For UC, what UC is that?
All you see are the
All UCs are the same.
Oh, yeah,
Without room and board, it's about 30.
so yeah, I think 42
Rough
is
estimate.
with the boarding.
No.
With,
You see this year is 14 and paying
no,
bills.
no, without housing.
Without housing is 14.
14 per year.
2,000?
No, not per year, not per year.
Uh,
No, so if we look at it,
you
it's 14 per semester, so if you round it up, it's 30 per year. Same thing with the CSUs. CSUs are about 14,000 per year.
And
CSUs.
then housing is 1,000 a month.
So UCs per year are about 30. To go to University of San Francisco, it's 86,000 a year. To go to Skyline College, it's $1,112 a year.
Yeah, well, there is a huge difference, that's why.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to know the breakdown, yes.
Sorry, I have a.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
question. When Alex was here at CSM, he mentioned a course about the career.
Oh, Career 120?
planning
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah.
What is
So
that?
I'm just looking at
It's
Skyline.
it's like a college exec
Is
class.
that,
So.
which class, or is it kind of equivalent of Skyline that, you know?
So it's like, thank you.
You mentioned that's kind of a.
Do you have that for
introductory
summer?
Course.
We should have it for summer. So
So
it's called Counseling 100. It's called Success. Same concept. So if you go to page 60,
Right, that's exactly.
that's exactly the class.
So that's that 100?
Counseling 100.
Is there many different colleges?
So that's just the different sections. So we offer multiple sections taught by different people. So there's multiple sections of the same class.
So it doesn't matter which one.
They all teach the same thing.
Yes. I see, okay.
And that's a class that you would recommend them to go to?
Yes.
How to basically be a college?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, this is even, this is both UC and CSU transfer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it goes. Those units will go to CSU or UC.
Oh, wait, it's 8:10 to 9:25?
So again, there's multiple sections there. Multiple sections.
Is that AM?
It's probably 8.
They often use military hours.
They use military?
Because they have different titles, that's why. I'm
Yes, so
wondering.
it depends on what specific program is offering it. So we have different learning communities and different programs on campus that offer classes throughout their learning community. So like, for example, there's A-Step, Cypher, all those different ones. Those are specific learning communities that we offer on our campus. What a learning community is, it's a program that is, for example, a group of students, whether it's a specific ethnic background or a specific genre, like Cypher is all about hip hop, Kababayan is specifically Filipino, Puente is Latin American. So it just depends on what particular program is offered.
Those aren't professors?
No.
Oh, okay, I kept seeing that. I thought he teaches a lot.
I see.
So
Then the first year experience will be. kind of
FYE
shared.
is a specific cohort of students that takes all the same classes together.
So are all the syllabi online, is there a way that they can, when it's something like this that doesn't list very specific
So what you
nuances?
can do is, one is, if you go online into our catalog, so these are schedules, the catalog has every class specifically to the T. Also, once the student gets their G number, you can go into the WebSmart, click on the class. Not only will it show you how many students are enrolled in the class, but have a vast description of the class.
Yeah, the WebSmart system is much better than the
Yeah,
paper
the
catalog.
WebSmart is the best way to go once you have your G number.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so without any other questions, I think this was supposed to end at 7.
It was, oh, wow.
To make sure that everyone's respectful of your time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming tonight. If you guys have any other questions, please make sure you're actually reaching out to either the person listed on the PowerPoint slide as the main contact for getting approval, and then if you have trouble getting your G number, let us know, we can maybe walk you through the process.
Is there any inside the folder? There might be some in the folder. If not, then, I don't know, I can check if I'm running.
See a business card.
Okay, so it's,
But you know what, is your contact number's on the.
yeah, it's on the slide and on the webpage as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
thank you guys.